Welcome to the Atomic Impact Podcast. I'm your host, Jason Osborn. And on this podcast, we interview successful business owners for them to share atomic, impactful lessons that they've learned throughout their business career and share them with us so we can learn from them as well. As always, this show is sponsored by the reverse podcast method, the new way to close deals that doesn't rely on any of the old traditional methods that everybody hates. We use this method about 26 qualified leads and sales calls in 10 days without any ad spend, outreach, or endless social media posting. To find out more, direct message me on LinkedIn and have a chat. That's Jason A. Osborn. And the link to that will be in the show notes below. But on today's show, our special guest is Steven Goldstein. He's the owner of AlphaRCubed and AlphaMind, providing executive coaching, performance development with a focus in the financial market sector. So, Steven, welcome to the show today. And I want to start off with a question that I always ask, and that is this. If you were somehow able to go back in time, when you started your very first business, what's the number one piece of advice that you would give yourself?
Work on trying to be better. But within that, and this is a very difficult one because it's something that really comes with age and experience, is not to let the external noise get inside your head and distract you. But that's easier said than done.
Yeah.
As we get older, but we very rarely have the experience to realize that when we're younger. You could fast forward somehow and bring that into your philosophy and mindset. That's what you should do.
I totally agree. I think if we could take the wisdom of age and put it into the youth of excitement, that would be amazing. Dive into that a little bit more deep though, because I think no matter whether it's an age thing, I think we all deal with that noise that we have around us. What are some tips for business owners out there to be able to quiet that noise, to be able to help them get to where they want to go?
Well, there is a kind of structure to how we do any task and how we try to achieve any intention. So obviously, if you're building a business, you have an intention around that business, what you want it to be, what you want to do with it, how you want to do it. Then the noise often comes from what we think the results are going to be, and the drive to get results and the drive to make things happen, and we try to force things. Okay, and we might question too much, we might jump around too much, and that stops us listening. That stops us being present to what we need to do. And that does a lot of the damage. So it's about trying to be present to your intention, trying to stay with it. I don't know your why. What is your purpose? I should imagine if your readers haven't read a book called Start With Why yet, they should do.
Yeah.
Because it's all about purpose. What is my why? What is my intention? What am I trying to do here? And how am I planning to achieve that? And how then do I bring myself to be present to all those things rather than owned by my outcome, my intended outcome, which is likely to mess with me? Okay. And we often then interfere with it and don't allow that to happen.
Yeah. So we allow the noise to distract us from doing the things that we want to do. But you also said the noise is the expectation of what we want to achieve. Is that correct?
Well, the noise is more than just the expectation. There's the second guessing. There's the fear of missing out. There's the fear of overcommitting and the fear of undercommitting. Okay, there's the fear of going off on a different. Somebody else has got better information than me. The fear that others know and I don't. The fear that I'm just not good enough. Okay, the stuff that gets in the way. Okay, I don't deserve it. And then we might use the results that might suggest that's the case when it's not the case at all. That then become the very distraction that we then allow to get in the way. There is so much stuff happening, and we're losing our sense of self and who we are that could actually make it happen.
Yeah. Yeah. I heard you use the word fear quite a few times. It
Yeah.
seems like that is the thing that really boils down to the crux of a lot of the matter there, is that the fear that we have internal. Do you find that that's the case with a lot of people you work with and other business owners as well?
Yeah. It's um, it's not just fear. It's more than that. It's a kind of sense of we might, there's that you've heard of the imposter syndrome, obviously,
Yeah.
that we might just be fooling ourselves. Who are we? Who are we to think we could succeed?
Yeah.
And we put ourselves down and we knock ourselves backwards, and we allow everyone else to knock us back, and we allow it to happen, and we don't own that space. We allow us to be owned, you
Hmm.
know, and
Yeah.
and that's almost, we preempt what we're trying to avoid,
Mm.
and
Yeah.
we end up playing um, the man and not the ball, so to speak.
Hmm. Yeah. Very interesting. When you look at your own business journey, um, I'd love to hear your take on this, particularly with what you've just said. What's the biggest challenge you faced in your business? And what's the lesson that you learned from that?
But if I take my business to the one I have now, which is really a coaching business, a performance development business, uh, a learning and development business around lots of different aspects of business, but done slightly differently. And most of the work is coaching with senior managers, executives, business owners, people in financial markets. Um, it took me a long time to get it off the ground. Now, I knew what to do, but I wasn't able to do it.
Mm.
Okay. Um, I knew what coaching was, and I knew what I wanted to do with it, but I wasn't able to make it happen. And there's a reason why.
Mm.
I didn't really get marketing. I wasn't really a marketer. I didn't
Mm.
get sales. I wasn't a salesperson. And I was hoping it was going to happen. And I didn't know how to make it happen.
Mm.
And that's the bit that I was missing. And I just wasn't good at it. I'd never done that in my life. I'd
Yeah.
been a trader, so I'd been doing what I'd been doing for 25 years, which was trading.
Mm.
Um, and sales is such an incredible skill.
Yeah.
Even though it's so important to every business, I still find that it's almost undervalued and underappreciated. And
Yeah.
I was not good at it. I didn't know how to win people over and get people to come to my service. And there was something more than that. Okay. In a way, it was about identity. I I hadn't changed my identity yet,
Mm.
trader. So I was a trader in my head still, even though I was doing this new business, which was something different.
Yeah.
Okay. So I hadn't changed my identity. So I couldn't sell what I needed to sell because I couldn't even identify with it.
Yeah.
And somewhere unconsciously, I knew it. Consciously, I didn't. And
Yeah.
that's the point. If you don't really believe in it or have bought into it or have identified with it, you can't sell it. So I couldn't even sell myself as a coach at that point until I really got behind who I was and what I was doing and my new identity in life.
Mm.
That was the point. I've kind of probably taken a long time to get there. But that was it.
Yeah. Yeah. I think what you're saying there, Stephen, is such an important lesson. You sound like you were quite inspired by what you wanted to do with coaching,
Yeah.
but the skills required to get to where you wanted to go, you didn't have yet. You had other skills, but not the skills that you needed
I had the
to bring
coaching
into this.
skills. I had the coaching
Exactly.
skills, but I didn't have the skills yet to transform myself into a coach
Yeah.
or into a business owner or a business.
Yeah.
And I did
Yeah.
that. it's more than that, and it required a lot of things like making myself vulnerable and exposing myself. I was trying to, if I go back to the beginning, I was trying to force the outcome I wanted. And bizarrely, that was getting in the way.
Yeah.
And I had to let it happen. And I had to accept certain things that made me uncomfortable in order to be able to do that. I had to make myself vulnerable ultimately.
Yeah. Which is, when it comes to actually doing that, I think it's a lot tougher for people than they believe it will be, to be vulnerable and learn the additional skills that we need to learn to take us to that place. Really powerful stuff, really deep stuff there, Steven. When you look at your business over the next 2 to 3 years, what are you wanting to achieve with it?
Um, I'm on a nice business path now. We've got a lot of business. We've if you look at me, you can see I'm a slightly older, perhaps than some of your normal clients. So I'm now into my 60s, and I'm trying to create something at this point that is able to support my lifestyle at this age, which is I work, but I don't work as if I was someone in my 30s or 40s.
Yeah.
It's not working on the hamster wheel. It's working to a level that I'm really happy with. And that's what we do. And we've built a business that can do that. It's not just me, it's a colleague as well. And I have other sort of associates that work with us. And it's been it's not been something that's happened by design. It's something that's been happened by people come to us and we service them. So we've never, funny enough, we've never really gone out and sold what we do.
Yeah, it's amazing, man. So just maintain that business, live that lifestyle you want to have. That's kind of where the direction is for you.
It's not maintained. We're actually very inspired by what we do.
Yeah.
We kind of choose who we work with. We want to work with people that inspire us.
Yeah.
And in a way that doesn't feel like work. It feels like, we're doing something that we enjoy, they enjoy. We can see they're engaged with it. So it's not totally about not working. It's about working with the sort of people that we want to work with and do the work that we want to do.
Exactly.
So it's not chasing stuff, but really choosing the work, And like I say, when you do that, it doesn't even feel like work. It feels like you're working with a partner, they're working with you, and you're building something you enjoy and something that, you can see is making a difference, and they value that difference.
Yeah, that's amazing, man. And I think that's a great way to approach business anyway. I think a lot of people lack that perspective. Well, Steven, for people that are wanting to learn a bit more about what you do and get in contact with you, what's the best way for them to do that?
Probably the best way is to just reach out. Even if you look at our websites, they don't reveal a lot. And we do need to improve those. But we do most of our business through connection. We do newsletters where we share our thoughts. So you can follow us on LinkedIn, and we do have a website. We do have our podcast, the AlphaMind podcast. So you can get a sense of the things we talk about on there. But go through our website, just reach out to us on our info at alpha-mind.net, or contact me on my other business, which is info@AlphaRCubed.com, that's more the coaching business. The other one is the business development, the skills development, leadership development, those areas.
Yeah. Amazing. Well, I definitely recommend everyone checking out Steven on the different places that he just said there as well. So Steven, thank you so much for being on the show. It's been a great pleasure. And as a reminder for everyone listening, the show is sponsored by the LinkedIn Reverse Podcast Method, the new way to close deals that doesn't rely on any of the old traditional methods that everybody hates. Now, to find out more, direct message me on LinkedIn to have a chat. That's Jason A. Osborn. And the link to that will be in the show notes below. And until next episode, stay inspired.